Welcome, wine and cheese lovers. Today we're going to be discussing some wine and cheese pairings. It can be overwhelming when you're trying to figure out the right cheese that pairs with a certain wine. The guide that we're going to share with you today is going to really help you narrow down that process of creating unforgettable combinations. So let's go ahead and get started. This summer, we have collaborated with a local sheep dairy farm called Misty Meadows Sheep Dairy to curate our new cheese plate. This is going to be available daily at the Hawkhaven Tasting Room, so join me as I visit the farm. Located in Petersburg, New Jersey, Misty Meadows is South Jersey's only grade A dairy farm. All the sheep here are hand-raised with lots of love. All of the adult animals have names. They are fed a mixed food that is non-GMO grain with sunflower seeds, and that adds a unique farm milk flavor, and it really does come out of the cheeses. Next up, we do have some questions that were answered by Misty Meadows, and then I will be right back to share with you more about the wine pairing.
The way that we got started here was I retired from heavy marine construction. We moved to Florida, so we decided to start a sheep dairy farm. We purchased this piece of property and built everything that was on here. And one of the main reasons we picked sheep is that they have a small footprint on the ground, not so much manure. They produce a really high protein quality milk. Out of that milk, we make cheese. Again, sheep produce a great milk, so we decided on sheep. Sheep milk is special because it has small fat globules in it, where cow milk has large. We cannot separate the fats, meaning cream, from sheep's milk where we can with cow. So what that does is it gives you a higher yield per gallon of milk with the sheep milk. And then on top of that, we can really control the flavors, and that's what we do here at Misty Meadow. We add sunflowers to our seeds, and that's our featured flavor with all of our cheeses here. We feed all of our sheep sunflowers. And one of the things that I learned earlier on in this business was if you produce really good milk, you can make really good cheese. If you don't have the quality of the milk, or you're buying milk from somewhere else to make cheese at your facility, you don't have control over the flavor. And we take really good care of our sheep, so we have really good milk. Two of our most special cheeses that are something that just comes from Misty Meadows Sheep Dairy is our featured cheese, which is our bloomy rind cheese. That cheese has a natural bloom on it. Most people would consider it a brie style cheese, but it's actually a bloomy rind cheese. That cheese gains its outside bloom from what's in that room that we put it in to age. So it creates a hard rind on the outside, a bloom, and then once it gets that, it breaks down inside. So it's breaking down into a really soft, creamy cheese inside. And that cheese most dictates the flavor of what the milk we produce at Misty Meadow. I'm really happy with that cheese because you can taste those flavors and the sunflowers that we feed the sheep in that cheese. The other special cheese that we produce here is a sunflower tome. And the reason we call it a sunflower tome is because, again, the sunflowers that go into that milk. And that's similar to a manchego, but I believe it has more of a nutty, buttery taste than a manchego. And this is a hard cheese, and the cheese is waxed rind, so we're maintaining the creaminess in that cheese. Against the ordinary of these cage-aged, naturally rinded cheeses, we're wax rinding most of our aged cheeses to keep the creaminess, and we believe most people like that creaminess even in an aged cheese. One of the most important things, and the reason we can produce this really good milk, is because we have a really good group of volunteers who take care of our sheep here at this farm. These people really care for those animals, and they love each and every one of them, and it really shows in the way that they come into the milking parlor. These animals aren't treated like an ear of corn. They're treated like a pet, and we take care of them right on through. We don't really push them either. We only have a short milking season a year, and then we let them have off through the winter until they have their babies again. So again, that really good milk comes from really good sheep, which in turn come from really good people taking care of them.
When it comes to pairing wine and cheese, there are a couple things to keep in mind. First, you do have to consider both the intensity of the wine and the cheese. You do want to make sure that one doesn't overpower the other. Second, you'll want to look for complementary flavors and textures. And finally, don't be afraid to experiment and trust your taste buds. Let's start off with white wines. Crisp, acidic white wines pair well with soft, tangy cheeses like goat cheese or feta, while richer, full-bodied white wines pair nicely with a buttery, nutty cheese. The Misty Meadows 3-milk Gouda is made with sheep, cow, and goat's milk and has a creamy mouthfeel that saturates the palate with flavors of butterscotch and tangy sour cream. The acidity of our signature series Albarino really cuts to the creaminess of the cheese, which really helps create a harmonious balance between the wine and the cheese. Made from pure sheep's milk, the Misty Meadows Manchego is aged for 12 months to develop its distinctive, slightly sweet flavor. The flavors are complemented beautifully with our Pinot Grigio. For another pairing, we tried our signature series dry rosé with the Misty Meadows 2-milk Gouda. Aged for 12 months, this mild cheese is made from sheep and cow milk and has sharp hints reminiscent of cheddar and a creamy fudge-like texture. That nutty and sharp texture really complements the crisp acidity of the dry rosé beautifully. Trust us, it works. Sparkling wines like champagne and prosecco are incredibly versatile when it comes to pairing cheese. A really good example of one that's very creamy would be like a brie cheese, or you could do one that's tangy and crumbly like blue cheese or aged cheddar. We tasted our sparkling rosé with the Misty Meadows Sunflower Bloomy. It's a very soft, ripened cheese with a very rich, complex flavor that's enhanced with hints of sunflower, walnuts, and mushroom. The effervescence of the sparkling wine really helps cleanse the palate and enhance the flavors of the cheese. So all 4 of these cheese pairings that I've covered in this video are available on our new wine and cheese flight, and these are offered daily at Hawk Haven this summer. Or you can actually go and create your own couplings with your favorite Hawk Haven wines by choosing from our selection of gourmet cheeses at our Prairie Gourmet Market. You can also visit Misty Meadows Farm and you can meet the furry friends who help produce these delicious cheeses. We will be covering cheese pairing videos with our red wines in the near future. Just remember that the key to a successful wine and cheese pairing is simply to have fun and experiment. You can also consider adding accompaniments like nuts, fruit, crackers, and these can help enhance the overall tasting experience for you. Let us know your favorite wine and cheese combos, and be sure to stop by Hawk Haven and try the new wine and cheese flight. We hope that you enjoyed this video, and we will see you very soon in our next video. Bye.